Hello everyone! Another day, another theory video I am presenting you so that we'd manage to hold on a little longer to survive until episode 78 actually comes out. And even though I made a very important video on Boom's YouTube situation a few days ago that should have explained to you well enough why it's highly unlikely that the episode comes out too soon, it still cannot stop me from making some theory videos once in a while. And today I prepared something really special for you all. And it also tells me that you won't be ready to hear what secrets I've discovered for this video. Because what if I'll tell you that all this time, Skibidi Toilets had another leader aside from G Toilet and Skibidi Scientist combined? Why there is an actual proof from Season 25 that G Toilet and the Secret Agent could be working together all along, and we just couldn't figure this out until now. And most importantly, what is the true role that Astro Juggernaut is supposed to play in the ongoing Alliance versus Astro Toilet's war? And what obvious thing didn't this big guy realize after G Toilet's monologue in Season 25? So in this video, I will answer all of these questions and also reveal something really important for y'all. So get your tea and snacks ready and prepare to watch this video to the end, because it's going to be awesome. And be sure to also give this video a like and subscribe to my channel where I make a lot of entertaining Skibidi Toilet content while you are waiting for the next episode to get released. Okay, so if you are subscribed now, let's continue. And before I'll start describing my biggest theory for today's video, let me point out some smaller details first, which are directly connected to Season 25 that is also supposed to return on YouTube really soon, by the way. And in case you didn't check my previous video, let me tell you that Boom successfully filed an appeal towards the YouTube support team, and if everything goes smooth enough as expected, then the strike will be lifted from Season 25, and it will be finally brought back to Boom's YouTube page. And for now, as we are waiting for this glorious moment to happen, let's remember some of the very damn important details from the missing season, as this is actually just crazy. And the first thing I'd like to show you is this picture that my subscriber sent to my Discord channel recently, and he also wrote, "ESO, I know that I shouldn't ping you, but I found something that you haven't found in your analysis of Season 25. In this scene, we can see the green light and the silhouette of the Secret Agent. And holy smoke, my dude. I don't really know what kind of eagle eyesight you have given that I actually missed this tiny frame for my analysis, but you are actually right. For a literal nanosecond, we can really see the silhouette Mindklein was talking about. And man, let me just say how I appreciate the observation skills of my subscribers who are literally the smartest people on Earth. And this secret frame also made me think about several very interesting suggestions. But firstly, let me just describe to you what can be actually noticed on those two screenshots, because they are pretty funky. And the silhouette the commenter was talking about cannot be the human silhouette itself, given the huge distance it is being placed from Astro Juggernaut. We can see that in terms of size, this silhouette is on par with trees in the distance. And on the first picture, it also doesn't resemble a human being at all. It looks more like a machine of a part of some sort of vehicle, you know. But it's really hard to be sure here, given that we can see this silhouette for just a split moment, and it blends with the environment a lot. But well, here's a catch though. Non-human silhouette or not, but we shouldn't forget that the representatives of the new Windows like League that we could see at the very end of Season 25 are literal shapeshifters and can take whatever physical form they like. They already turned into chairs, flower pots, and ATM machines. So what is stopping them from turning into some other object in order to not get revealed? So here's what I think. It is either the Secret Agent or some of his apprentices who is well developed enough to use the same abilities as him. The goal of which was to observe everything that was going in this scene and hear everything that G Toilet had been saying to Astro Juggernaut. And there also comes one interesting question. Was Jimmy actually self-aware that someone was watching them, and it was the Secret Agent in particular? Or to add something even crazier, could it also be possible that G Toilet was in the same team as the Secret Agent all along, and that's why he was also present at the same scene as Jimmy? Okay, so let's go step by step, not to get confused here, because the situation between these two characters is really complicated, all right? It is a known fact that the Secret Agent was the one who lured the infiltration squad led by Lucky Cameraman to the Skibidi Scientist's lair, and it was his doing that the scientist was eventually destroyed for good by Plungerman's hands. Well, the Titan's hands, to be more specific. But they showed up much later when Plungerman already weakened Skibidi Scientist enough in pair with the girls' agents and the big TV man, though. In any case, the secret agent can be named the one responsible for Skibidi Scientist's passing, and G-Man must be hella unhappy because of it. So could it actually be so that those two would be working together? Yes and no. No would be the obvious answer here, if we'd suppose that Jimmy was way too bitter to unite with someone like the secret agent, even given all of the circumstances. But on the other hand, why the hell not? In his conversation with Astro Juggernaut, Jimmy mentioned that he knows how it feels like to see someone you love suffer, but still keep doing the things you have to do in the middle of the literal war, where the priorities are switched onto the bigger things you know. So what if G-Man can actually be ready to sacrifice his former disdain for his colleague and best friend's destruction in order to achieve bigger advantage in this game? I think that Jimmy could have already overcome the pain from the scientist's passing, given how already quite some time has passed since episode 70. And there is a lot of work for him to do, so there is no opportunity to sit on your ass and keep mourning those who are gone. So it is totally possible, in my opinion, that if the Alliance and the Secret Agents team started following the same goals, it would be no problem for Jimmy to unite with this guy too. So it can be so that the Secret Agent's presence in this scene could be orchestrated by Jimmy beforehand, so that he'd be able to track the whole conversation between him and Astro Juggernaut. But why? And that's where we're getting to something really interesting. We already remember all the talk between Jimmy and Juggy about the mysterious secret weapon the Alliance already possesses, and how it would be much wiser for Juggy to join G-Man's League instead of Astro Faction and so on. But there was one thought that stroked me recently, and honestly I loved this theory. Just think about it. What if Astro Juggernaut is actually the secret weapon Jimmy was yapping about? Like, yeah, sure, for now he doesn't really look like a walking super weapon on his own. But there are also some nice little upgrades and developments to consider. And there is also one more thing to keep in mind though. Generally, Astro Toilets have always had one major flaw: their reliance on their own natural technological advantage, even despite their incredible strength. Unlike the Alliance forces, which continually adapt through upgrades and reinforcements, the Astros have largely depended on sheer technological superiority. But what if G-Man can come up with some unique mixture of both natural and artificial evolution for Juggernaut that will make him one of the kind warrior, though? So that Juggy would become a literal deviation from the norm and something really unpredictable. And the fact that G-Man specifically brought up Juggernaut for the discussion and not a fight could also indicate that the Alliance sees something in him that even the Astros don't fully comprehend. Okay, so how exactly can Juggernaut be turned into the literal super weapon G-Man claims to have? Astro's technology is known for being highly advanced and often surpassing anything that humans have ever engineered. So there is a solid chance that Juggernaut was originally designed with hidden capabilities that even he isn't aware of yet. But the Alliance's experts in reverse engineering enemy tech might uncover these secrets and activate them for the right moment. If Juggernaut possesses a dormant power source, perhaps a reactor-like core that could be modified a lot, then he could effectively become a literal destruction force capable of wiping out entire Astro fleets. Or just imagine Juggy being geared up with all the possible Alliance's upgrades, while also possessing Astro Toilet's powers and abilities in general. Like if Juggernaut received modifications that would push his power beyond its current limitations, got equipped with Titan-level shielding and weaponry, this would really turn him to a literal superweapon that could turn the tide of the war. And let's not also forget how Juggernaut could also be resistant to Astro control or possesses a defense mechanism that neutralizes their technology, similar to what G-Man had in the past. This would mean that instead of just being a destructive force, Juggy could also be capable of nullifying the enemy's Cora Screwer technology that affected Titan TV Man in episode 77. Okay, and now as we started talking about G-Man and Astro Toilets, let's consider one more theory, and honestly, this is just insane, but I love it. How about 3 Skibidi Toilet leaders instead of just 2, Jimmy and Skibidi Scientist? What if there is actually the third powerful toilet that worked with these two all along, but we haven't been introduced to him yet, but Astro Toilets were? And to prove that to you, let's remember the dialogue between Jimmy and Juggy again from season 25. And it was Juggernaut who told G-Man how someone that G-Toilet knows has recently joined the Astro Legion with special request. Sounds interesting enough, right? But let's start from the very beginning. Throughout the whole Skibidi Toilet saga, we saw the Skibidi Toilets not just as mindless creatures singing brainrot song, but as an organized faction with at least two known leaders, G-Toilet and Skibidi Scientist. But what if there could be the third, yet unidentified figure within their higher ranks? Clues regarding the third leader could be firstly traced to episode 67, where Alpha Hill's lab sign prominently displayed 3 giant toilets above its entrance's sign. And not just 2, with one of these toilets obviously being G-Man, who has lasers from his eyes. And after that, the second part of episode 68 reinforced this idea when the Skibidi faction's logo was revealed to contain 3 toilets as well. And given that G-Toilet, the faction's commanding figure, is represented at the center, the other 2 figures remain not so clearly identified. This symbolic representation suggests that there are at least 2 additional figures who hold substantial influence over the faction's operations. Now let's get back to Season 25 for a moment. As G-Man heard what Juggernaut told him about someone he knows getting in touch with Astro Faction, he gets visible upset a little bit, which is telling enough. His reaction also makes me think that whoever was mentioned by Juggernaut was no ordinary Skibidi Toilet, but someone of greater importance, perhaps even one of the high-ranking leaders implied by the logo and Alpha Hill's lab sign. And if my theory about elusive third leader of Skibidi Toilets that turned out to be traitorous in the end is true, then who exactly is this figure? And what role did they play before switching sides? And the special request mentioned by Juggernaut also hints that this individual's allegiance may have been manipulated rather than willingly given. But that's just my speculation at this point. And if this unknown figure is indeed a third leader, then their motives to switch sides are really interesting from the perspective of the internal politics of the Skibidi faction. Were this someone disillusioned with G-Toilets and Skibidi Scientists' leadership? Did they perceive a greater opportunity for power within the Astro Legion instead? Or perhaps there is a much messier option, and it's their defection the result of some sort of rift within the Skibidi ranks, which would mean that we're about to see even more internal struggles and civil wars soon in the series, as if there wasn't already enough. But in the end, I believe that as the series will be progressing, we will be revealed of all these mysteries, eventually including the third toilet's identity that will pretty much have major consequences for the conflict between the Skibidi Toilets, the Alliance, and the Astros. If this individual is truly the third leader, then their knowledge and influence could provide the Astro faction with some crucial strategic advantages. And whether their defection was by choice or by force remains uncertain, what is clear is that G-Toilet's visible concern may be justified. And what do you guys think about all of this? And that was all for today. Write in the comments what you personally think about my theory, and be sure to also subscribe to my channel not to miss my new videos to keep yourselves updated while you're waiting for episode 78 to get released. And that was me, Iso Toilet. See ya!